What's happening, my friends out there in YouTube land? This is Rockin' Dave, Southwest Florida. Just doing a little improvising jam there, using my Digitech pedals, which I want to apologize for last week. I didn't realize the picture was going all snowy and that. We had the thunderstorms and the lightning storms down here, so obviously that had a lot to do with it. But I'll do like another take on that. Where I'll show some of my old DoD pedals, and you'll see the difference between the USA made ones and the Chinese made ones. Things of that nature. But yeah, so hope everyone had a great Friday. Hope everyone had a great, safe 4th of July. Hey, what's happening, Dry Heat 480 and Little David Ennis? What's happening, guys? Rock and roll, my friends, and everyone out there. Rock and roll. I caught Mr. Bruce. What's happening, buddy? What is happening? Yeah, I caught Joe Wentz's rerun of his earlier show today, and yeah, Joe Wentz is a great guy. He's a great guitar player, man. Think about it. He works a lot of hours, and driving is very tiring, man. Of course, I saw that video of him back in that truck, up in the two little spots in that loading dock. Yeah, man, he's a great guitar player and a great truck driver. But yeah, no, he's a great guitar player. Could you imagine if he had a lot more time to practice this? I mean, he's already an awesome guitarist. He'd be, look out, man. He'd be kicking everyone's ass. No, Joe's a great guy. He's a great guitar player, like I said, and he said something. Excuse me, said something real interesting. Quick shout out this insurance company. I don't know if you could see that. Of course, it's back. Oh, of course, I got the napkin hiding it. You know what I mean? There's the name. It's backwards. A German lady runs this down here in Cape Coral, Florida. Nice lady. Go figure. Yeah, you know what, Mr. Bruce? He is way better than he realizes it. He really is, man. The guy is incredible. And it's interesting. He said he only had like an hour's sleep or something like that. And I remember being in those situations, man, and was it tough? And he for him to be able to play like that, it's really cool. It really is cool. And even though, okay, he's in his comfort zone, that's really the best place to be, especially when you're tired, man. I really think that if he were out there playing, he'd really be able to hold his own. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and they are not. Oh, yeah. That's a very interesting quotation. There's a lot of people that don't understand what that really means. Absolute mayhem. What's happening, my friend? Yes. Yes. Um, Another interest that I do have, and I don't like to put, religion down anybody's throats or anything like that, because everyone could believe what they want. But it's interesting of when people start talking pertaining to the Bible and things of that nature. And that'd be another subject for another time, because we'll talk music here and that. Um, how much it gets misquoted, it's amazing. It really is. It is amazing, and what's really going on, it'll blow people's minds, man. It'll blow people's minds. But yeah, I'm very familiar with that quotation. And if since a person, I think Mr. Grizzly, I'm sorry if I missed it because the chat goes so fast, my friends, and I'm still getting used to all this technology. And again, I'm going to just say one more thing on that subject about the, Revelation, the book of Revelation, since that was brought up. If you read Revelation chapter 13, verse 13, you'll see what a Lucifer is going to look like. There's an absolute description right there. But again, I hope I'm not trying to, convince people to think like me or anything like that. That's no. But just look for yourself. Truth is always truth, right? But what I was going to say about, Joe Wentz, he said something very interesting. We've been in a situation where this was back in, and that's interesting because this happens to go through the church, okay? Hey, what's happening, Joe Wentz? You rock, my friend. You rock big time. I love that video of you backing the truck up. Dude, it's like you're the master, man. Killer guitar player, killer truck driver, And I'll tell you what, God bless our truck drivers, The trades, and I'll get back to what I was going to say pertaining to, playing tired. But I want to touch on this real quick. The trades, a lot of people don't want to get into this, a lot of newer generation. Not everybody. We got a lot of good kids out there, so this is not pertaining to them. But you do have a lot of people that just don't want to work, that hard. They don't have to. Maybe they find something else. But this is why there's such a huge gap opening up in all the trades, including, the truck driving. I'll tell you what, my wife and I, we got our CDL license. We take care of that license, my friends. I say this, and I apply this to myself, okay? Everyone else could do what they want out there. That plan B, when I mentioned about plan B, you taking charge, you taking control, that's basically what that is, because you're not going to screw yourself over, I hope. So by you taking charge, you're in the driver's seat, no one could pull your chain. You know what? I want to see something here. Does it look like I'm not left-handed? Let's see. This shirt says GFA. Just pluck it. This is a t-shirt I got from the Guitar Foundation of America, which I belong to, which is an organization strictly for classical guitarists. And some of the classical guitarists you see now, if you ever type it in, it's called Guitar Foundation of America. They have all these international competitions and conventions. The one in 2019 is going to be down here in Miami. So we're going to see if we can check that out. They've never been to Illinois since as long as I've been up there, that I remember. But you want to see some amazing players, man. Holy crap. But it's a totally different world. Yes, Ed Dana too. Ed Dana's live chat last night. I want to give a shout out to him. He's an awesome guitar player, man. And there's a video of him playing the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and he goes in before he plays the song, and he plays it great. I mean, it's like, dude, that's one of my favorite songs, especially as a kid growing up. But he's got a lot of history, and I think he's got family members tied into the history of that. So, wow, what a story. But Ed Dana gave this kid some advice that I totally agree 100% in his live chat last night. When he mentioned about, just get on YouTube and check as much people as you can out. When I was younger, that's how I learned. I just hang out with people and learned from as many people. The Chicago Music Company, some of the teachers over there, everyone would share ideas and everything, and that it was great. It was really great growing up. But the technique, I only took one classical guitar lesson, my friend, and it was just to see what it was about. And the guy, it was downtown Chicago at a place, I think it was above a place called Sherry Brenner, where they sell. It's a real small shop on Michigan Avenue. They got a lot of high-end classical guitars. Andres Segovia's got a couple of the guitars he was going to buy. They got them in their vault, and they're going for like $20,000 and up. But this guy, I'm upstairs warming up, and I'm doing my picking, and he hears like the scales real fast. And he thought I was doing it with my fingers, so he literally looked out, and he saw I was doing it with a pick. But then I showed him how I developed my technique, and I've simply developed it by just being impatient, rolling my fingers on the desk, not realizing I'm building what's called the tremolo technique. And of course, he had some good pointers and, helped me out a little bit there. And that was it. And then about, 6 years ago, Guitar Center in Naperville, Illinois, I played for Paul Henry. Paul Henry, he studied with Segovia. And he was one of the professors at Roosevelt University. And he's got several books out, and through Hal Leonard, on guitar playing and guitar concertos. And, all these kids there, and I thought I was going to get my butt kicked, man, because you see a kid with a classical guitar, look out, man. But, they were starting out, too, and they were very good at what they were doing. But he had me play, and he says, man, you got the technique, you got the gift for music, and I should have kept you last. He had me come on first. He calls me up to come up first. I'm like, oh. And I told him at the time we were still doing construction, so I would have sheet metal cuts on my fingers, doing a little classical and the flamenco pieces and that. But let me get back to what I was going to say. Joe, you mentioned about being tired. I remember 2013. We did this gig for Motorcycle Sunday. It's for the Warehouse Church in Aurora, Illinois. See, this is where the Book of Revelation and religion comes together. Now, the guys at Warehouse Church, some of them used to play at the Thirsty Whale back in Illinois. So you had the bikers there at Warehouse Church and some of the metalheads. So it was like really, really cool. So anyways, it was on a Sunday. That's why it's called Motorcycle Sunday. I opened up. It was like 9 o'clock or 9:15 in the morning. The day before that, we were in Iowa doing a show. It was a 5-hour drive to Iowa. I played 4 hours. I played literally straight through. My only breaks, I take a sip of my cappuccino or water or soda and tune my guitar or grab my other guitar, but that's my only break, We did that. So 5 hours driving there, 4 hours playing. Well, see, here's how it is. 5 hours driving there, give or take about an hour setting up, right? So there's 6 hours. Another 4 hours, there's 7 hours of playing. Another hour, there's 8 hours of tearing down. And another 5 hours of driving back. So, I mean, we were exhausted. And especially my wife, because she's doing all the driving. And we got back to Illinois. We had our SUV packed because I had my crate half stack, which I still have, with the Celestion 75 speakers and my guitars and that. So we drive all the way back to Illinois. It's a 5-hour drive. We get to Phillips Park in Aurora, Illinois. Get to where the stage is set up. Maybe I had off and on a little snooze on the drive home, and then maybe another 15 minutes of sleep. Deb, she probably only had like 10 minutes of sleep. So now it's showtime. So I'm running on adrenaline. I'm doing my solo show, throwing the guitar around and all the crazy stuff, having fun. When I was done with that set, then I'm playing with one of the church bands. It was all metal. So again, I'm playing, Then after that, so we hung out, and the event ended at 4 o'clock. So we left about maybe 3:15. So, man, I'll tell you, running on adrenaline, woo, it's tough, But sometimes you get so tired, you're overtired, and you get that extra boost of energy, and that's when you go for it. I've had people ask me, gee, doesn't he take a break? Yes, sir, that driving can catch up with you real quickly. You're right, Joe. Oh, my God, it could catch up with you real quickly. Unbelievably, how fast. People don't realize it, especially at nighttime. Then you start imagining those lines, if they're moving or just like, one of the training I was in, I drove for a company called MV, and it was for disability. It was a real short time. And one of the trainers said, if you're ever tired, the first thing you got to do is get rest. That's that coffee, no dose, and this 5 hour energy stuff. None of that really works except good solid rest. But if you're on a stretch where you have to pull over, but you can't because you're on this long stretch, there's nowhere to pull over. This guy said, always keep your eyes shifting, moving, because it's going to help you stay awake. And then when it's safe, where you can pull over, yeah, go ahead, pull over and get some rest, man, because you'll crash and burn. Or you'll literally crash, you know. So that was real interesting, Joe. Yeah, been down that road, and I think you did a great job with those songs, man. Holy crap. You know. So, yeah, and I'll tell you what, another guy that I really enjoy watching is Ben Coombs. I'll tell you what, man, that Father's Day show was just incredible. His dad has got so much experience, it's unbelievable, and so much sound advice. And you know what? It makes you look at Ben Coombs with that much more respect, because you realize Ben was born into this. This is what he knows, and he's been surrounded by it. And that's another one. You know, Ben Coombs, he's a much better guitar player than he realizes. You know, to me, what a good guitar player is, I don't know how fast a person plays. It's fun. Sometimes you're at your moment, sometimes you're not. You know, these are mechanical. I mean, you know, these are muscles, and then you get tired, just like anybody else. I've seen it happen with some of the supersonic shredders. That's why, you know, my advice for a person who just wants to do nothing but shred, have something that is going to be more melodic as well, or just as powerful, like Dimebag Darrell. If you notice, Dimebag Darrell doesn't try to play a million notes a minute, but he plays with such intensity, you know. It kind of gives you that second wind, because, boy, I'll tell you what, man, you go out there gigging, especially down here in Florida, whoo, you get tired real quick. Yeah, Ben, he's a great guy, too. Ben it'd be really cool meeting up with him, Bruce, you know, Robert Baker. Robert Baker's a great guitar player. Great guy, man. They were at the Sweetwater event. Be cool meeting up with Joe Wentz there, you know, Jim Geetrid, R2R3. I mean, all you guys. I mean, the list goes on. Absolute Mayhem. The list goes on and on and on and on and on, you know. Because I just think this is such a great platform. It'd be so cool. Such an honor to meet all you guys in person. Man. Wow. Which I did. I want to give a shout out to Showman Blues. He came out on Thursday's gig at the Blue Monkey. And I was kind of panning the camera on him, and he said, no, that's okay. Or maybe he misinterpreted. But then I think he walked by and he did wave hi and that, which is great, because Showman Blues, you know, he's another guy with a lot of experience. Sorry about that, guys. We get a little sometimes dropouts. That means this guy is getting funny down here. Yeah, but anyways, Showman Blues had this video of the Fender Strat. I think it was a 1984, 1985 model. It had its own locking nut that it had a little like a little lever. You just pop it open, you know, and it opens up. And I remember this, guys, and some of you guys that were playing back then, or even if you weren't, even if as kids you go to the music store, you might remember this, where after Floyd Rose and Kahler systems came out, Fender had their own bridge system, and so did Ibanez. And okay, on this guitar, if you notice, this looks a lot, if I can get that, a lot like a Floyd, where you see the Floyd would have the where you get your Allen wrench down here and your tuners here, where the Ibanez edge, these are up and this is back. So I know Ibanez is starting to do this more on the Ibanez Gem Junior, and even on some of the Prestige model guitars. I think Mitch Heyman has a Prestige. And there's another guy, and I apologize if I forget your name, sir. I really do apologize. Where he was unboxing his, it was a Blue Burst with a maple fretboard, but it was an Ibanez Prestige, because on the headstock it said Prestige. And it has that same type of a whammy system. But Ibanez had a different system back in, like, say, 1981, 82, 83, maybe a little bit later to 1986 or 87. Because I was trading all these guitars, and yeah, your Gem has that same tremolo. Yeah, that's right, Joe. I've got an early 80s Japanese Fender with the System 1 locking system. Yeah, right. I think that's what it was called, the Contemporary Strat. It's called the Contemporary. Yeah, Mr. Ed Dana, yeah. I loved your show last night, Ed. You know what I said about the Fender Super Champ times 2? It's not a 212 model amp. It's actually a single 10-inch speaker. And it's not channel switching, but it does have some digital effects. I think it's powered by 2 or 3 6L6s and one 12AX7. Or maybe it's 2 and 2. I think it's like a hybrid solid state and tube amp. But I've seen a guy, and I think his name is Joe Fisher. I'm sorry if I forget the guy's name. He did a video of popping out the stock speaker on that Super Champ times 2, and he stuck Eminence Raging Cajun speaker in there, and he did a side-by-side comparison, and wow, that thing sound awesome, man. So, yeah, Mr. Randall Fisher, how are you, man? I think, yeah, you might have been on Johnny Bean's chat. I think Joe might have mentioned something, or Michael Bishop. Yeah, it was something, because I know the guys were staying up a little bit late last night. When I got on Ed Dana's chat, I just got back from my gig, my Friday night gig, and I thought it was real cool seeing Ed on there, and I'm like, oh, check this out, you know. And yeah, so that was the amp. It's not a 212 amp. They just call it, it's a 10-inch, a single 10-inch speaker, Super Champ times 2. And I cannot remember if it's got a line out in the back or not. Here's the thing with some, yeah, can't go wrong with Fender tube amp. No, man, you know what, honest Ed, I love the way they sound, man. I used to have an old Fender Twin with 2 Altec Lansing speakers, the silver face with the master volume, and the master volume, you were able to pull it out. It had the pull pop, so it give it a little extra crunch there. And it was a heavy amp. Wow, did it sound good. You know, to me, if you had to choose one guitar to keep and the rest had to go, which one would be? Oh, yeah, Joe Wentz. Oh, my God. Okay, now you're talking electric and acoustic, or just simply one? Simply just one? That'd be a tough one, man. Because I do have my Gibson Les Paul. One day I'll spotlight my guitars, you know. And then my BC Rich next through. And then my Spotlight guitar, the Lawsuit, the one I found in the dumpster. This is a very comfortable guitar for me to play. You know, Old Man Dan, what's happening, buddy? Because I think I mentioned this before, it does not have the arm contour. And I started on guitars. Actually, my Ibanez Artist was a little bit thicker than this. And it was like this. So my picking technique, when it's like this, when I went to the Strat, it felt off, you know. Les Paul through a Fender tube amp is heaven. Oh yeah, Old Man Dan. Oh my God. It's incredible. You know, to me, it was like, okay, you have the Fender for like the bluesy sound and the clean sound. And then you had the Marshall for that punchy rock sound and metal sound. And then in between, see, I'm not only talking for us guys that didn't have a whole lot of money, you know. The Peavies had kind of like that in-between tone. Crate, before they went under, was shaped like a crate box, and that was that was actually my first good amp I had. But then later on, they started getting more and more like with the Celestion and the Fane speakers, or wait a minute, the Fender M80 in the 90s had that Fane speaker in there, so it was almost like a Marshall type of a sound, solid state, you know. So yeah, it's kind of tough. Yeah, the PV Classic series are awesome. Classic, yeah, those are, man. Holy crap! I remember I plugged into a Classic 30, little 12-inch. Awesome amp, man. Heavy. And the only thing is, without minus standby switch, because I do like having that standby switch, but the back chassis, because it's silver, after a while it gets very, very hot. So if you go to turn off the off switch, it's real hot, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of good old stuff out there, man. That you know, again, the Fender, yeah. Okay, I think we're back. Yeah, you know, I think we might have an interference. You know, we're down here in Florida. We have our rainy season, and the sky. Holy crap! Last night I'm playing and all of a sudden, boom, and it's the thunder behind me and the lightning and, all kind of stuff going on. Um, so here, I use the Digitech RP series because it's small, convenient, not real expensive. It sounds great through a PA system. What I'm running into right now is my Yamaha TH10R. No, yeah, TH10RC. It's the classic amp series, and I got it where it's bypassed. So I'm actually bypassing the EQ and just going right into just using it as a power amp. Okay, so that would be like the Marshall Plexi, if you want to call that. But on one of my favorite channels here is my sorry about that. If you add a little bit of compression, you can get some warmth. It's not gonna, nothing's gonna beat a tube amp, And then you go to overdrive. There used to be an old trick, and I'd have to look for this again. Yeah, we're going to do live tonight because we're going to be at Rusty's, but it's a different Rusty's in North Fort Myers. Oh, no, Fort Myers. So, it's going to be, I'm sorry about that. How long we been doing the duo thing? Okay, and when that chat comes back on, Joe, I'll read that. But I'll tell you, Mike and I have been doing the duo thing down here since, I want to say October. Yeah, because you were in bands before. Oh, yeah, I was in bands before. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, it's that I don't like playing in bands, guys. I really do. But, I'm trying to read everyone's chat here. Well, man, Dan, I had to check my label. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. When it comes back up, I'll read the chat. But, no, the thing is with bands, if you can do any type of touring, road shows, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to fund it, or whoever's going to fund it, it doesn't matter. Everyone's going to be on that same page because especially if someone else is going to fund it, you're on somebody else's money, you better be all together, man. That's not the time to say, oh, I can't go, or get into an argument or anything like that because, the money's spent and now they got to get a return on the investment. So, my wife and I, we've been in several bands. It's been like that. Okay. Classic Rockers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? I have to check out his channel. Yeah. I really didn't see that. Sometimes it comes up and it goes real fast on my phone. So I apologize about that, guys. But, I mean, I love playing in bands. That's the era I come from. All this is new to me, but I kind of thought about this idea back in the early 90s. Yeah, if the chat fades away, just touch the screen. All right, thanks, Joe. Yeah, okay, buddy, thank you. So I did. There we go. Yeah, Johan Seaborn. I'm sorry, his channel's fabulous. Oh, yeah, for the Classic Rockers. I'm going to remember that, Old Man Dan. And if I have not subbed to that channel, I'll check it out and sub to it, Because I like checking all you guys' channels out because I said this before. We all know about the signed guitarists and that, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about it because they do work hard. Not taking anything away from them on that. But so do you guys. So we all do. Everyone works hard, especially. Sorry, guys, my finger's right in the way. See, look at that. Oh, he shows off some great gear. Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. Now, I think Ben Coombs Sunday is going to have Steve from Boston. Let's see if he can answer this question. And then this guy, Old Man Dan, when I sub to his channel. If anyone remembers, I don't know how long of a period of time they ran these amps. It's called Barkus Berry. I believe they made pickups, but they did have a couple of amps. I think they were kind of like a 410 inch speakers. And I think it was solid state amp, along with the Lab series amplifiers. Oh, you remember that brand? Yes. A lot of people don't. I'd mention it to them. They're like, look at me like I grew a third eyeball. Texas bought. Yeah, that's right. I love it. Hey, Joe, I love it. Yeah, my vocalist, Mike, he'll say things, in between there just to, it's part of the show. It's part of the show, and we have a great time. And you know what? What I had mentioned, I think on the ride home and during that rainstorm, if you're gonna make a mistake, it's part of the show. If your guitar goes out of tune or your drums, see, this was in response to a guy that was at this one party this one time, and he was, oh yeah, Barkus Berry, Ed Dana. I'm glad you remember, because a lot of people, they don't remember that brand. I remember they had a couple amps. So they had a 112-inch combo, and then they had a 410-inch for 410s. You know. But what I was gonna say is that you know, you're gonna have all these variables. You cannot let things hold you back, man. The show's got to go on. It's part of the show. You know, don't worry about it. You know, and part of it does bother me when I'm out of tune. It does bother me, especially. You know what really bothers me the most? I don't say not so much with the rock. It bothers me all you know, all over. You know, all you know, in different all styles. But especially if you're playing classical guitar, man. Yeah, it drives me up the wall, inside. You know, but we're at the mercy of the weather. We got to keep going. If you stop, you draw attention to yourself. Wow, watch and see what it'd be like. Remember the Honeymooners, Ralph Cramden, the chef of the future, Habba Hooba Heba. Now there is a problem, right? Just don't worry about it. Keep moving forward. It's part of the show. You know, it's not an excuse to be a hack, guys. You know, but I think this guy and that comment I made driving was actually in response to what I heard in a group of people when I was walking by them. They were talking about, it sounded like the guy was talking about his brother. He wanted to relocate, and he's also a drummer, and he said that his guitar player said about his drums going out of tune, and they won't be able to get the gigs, but it actually sounded like this guy's brother was going to have a job opportunity coming down here, and maybe he choked or whatever, I don't know, or maybe it wasn't going to work out for him, but it seemed that the whole tuning issue became the focal point, and I thought, you know, let me just kind of just say it, you know, because it's not meant to offend anybody, but you do have to get through these issues, because they're going to happen. And if you stop playing, and the people that have paid you, that hired you, they see you stop playing, they're like, okay, what's wrong with this guy, you know? I thought he was the latest and greatest, you know? But yeah, so another effect that I use in my Digitech, you know, this I got the Fender sound, so you got that clean overdrive. Oh, what I was gonna say, guys, is that we used to be able to run anything digital or analog that's solid state into a tube preamp, and it kind of helps warm up the tone. And I remember in some of the older magazines that we'd get, you'd be able to buy a tube preamp. I don't know, for like I seen them from between, let's say, $35 to $110, and I'm thinking, man, I should have grabbed all those at the time when I thought I was, you know, thinking about grabbing them, but I didn't, you know. So it kind of helps the warmth out. But another effect that I like to use is my Univibe effect, you know. Now, what I like about this RP series, the 360 XP model, Ben, what's happening, man? Good hearing from you. Good seeing you, buddy. You could take these effects and rearrange them anywhere in the patch. So what I did here is I took the Univibe, and since it's not really it's a modulating effect. I didn't put it in what would, like how you put it in effects loop on the back of your amp or the front of your amp. Back in the day, it was a preamp out, power amp in. You know what I mean? So, anyways, what I did is I took, it'd be equivalent to running it right into the amplifier. So you don't get too deep of a swirling sound, but you get enough, especially when you have a distortion and overdrive on it. Because if you think about it, alright, to get like the Hendrix and Robin Trower thing, I don't think that they ran anything through an effects loop, because they really didn't have effects loop back then. Yes, Old Man Dan, you got it. Modulating before crunch and after OD, or let's see what it says again. Sorry, guys. My finger's in the way. Oh, Kitty Hawk amps were around. Yes, I remember those. Yeah. Kitty Hawk. How many of you guys remember the high watt R2, R3? What's happening, my friends? I watched the video with you when you got your Fender Strat. with the large headstock. Like that, man. I'm a big fan of the larger headstocks, you know. Um, yeah, so what did I say? Oh, yeah, high watt amplifiers. You guys remember the Bulldog, or was it Pitbull? I think it was called the Pitbull. The speaker cabinet was real thick. Holy crap, you know. Joe Wentz Project TV had to get a, yeah. Yeah, you know, Ben, I don't know if you and Bruce are gonna next year try to make it over to Sweetwater, but we're gonna see if we could do that too. It'd be great meeting you in person, man. You know, Ben, I said this at the beginning of the show, um, and you being actually your dad being I look at your dad as a professional musician. I look at your dad as he's done a lot with a lot of experience. That's one guy man, I'll tell you what, I put your dad right up there with the Steve Vais and the Yngwies and Joe Satriani's and that caliber, you know what I mean? Because your dad worked just as hard. Because when you're doing the jobbing, your mind is shifting all over the place, man. Really, really. Oh, you'll be at Sweetwater next year. Aha. Be nice. It'd be cool meeting you in person, man. Because I'll tell you what, you're born in this. And you know what? I think you're the only person that I've ever met that's actually born in this. So your whole life has been surrounded with music. So doesn't really matter. You could actually say you have an entire lifetime of music experience. See, I started playing when I was 11, and my dad was besides working, you know, he would also do acting downtown Chicago and in New York before I was born. But so I used to listen to motion picture soundtrack. So that's why I got kind of that love for classical music, because I used to hear it all the time. But it wasn't like there was musicians in the family. My grandmother would play the organ, and she was real good. She was real good. She wanted to be a concert pianist, but you know. Oh, it'd be great meeting you too, Ben. Yeah. Oh my God. But see, you have such this history of this lifetime. My only history, really, before I started playing was, like I said before, I think it was like between 1969, 1970. I was 6 years old, and the hippies would sit in the park. I mean, in our apartment complex, and there was a court area, and they throw down the extension cord and plug the amps in and start playing. You know, so that's kind of like my experience there. But to actually be born in that life, and seeing that, wow, dude, that's awesome. That's totally awesome. Oh yeah, you too, Bruce. Would be a blast meeting you too, and the missus, and then of course Deb would be with me too. Yeah. And I think that was cool. Meeting Robert Baker. Robert Baker's a great guitar player, man. And I give this guy a lot of credit because he's smart. He knows how to use YouTube. He's a dad, and he's taking care of things. He's taken the perfect advantage in a good way, positive way, of what the platform we have. And man, God bless him for that. Young guy, great guitar player, totally awesome, totally awesome. And then meeting Greg Cox, I met him at Naperville, and in Naperville, Illinois, at Brookdale Music. And yeah, he's Robert is a great guy, super nice. Yeah, see, you can see it in his personality. He's got nothing bad to say. I like that. I grew up in South Cal, so I was able to see. Yeah, let me hit that again. Oh, wait a minute, wait. Sorry, guys, something else comes up. See, that's what I mean. The 80s rock bands and the clubs before they went big. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Old Man Dan, that's right. Yeah, Ben says, hello to everyone I missed in the chat. I do the same thing, I type with one finger, man. And I'm like, I never had typing in school, so I know there's a purpose why it's laid out the way it is. But what about for us people who never had typing? Can it be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G? I mean, make life simple. Why complicate things, Or maybe I should get on the ball with it. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. So, but yeah, watching you guys play and watching you guys have your discussions and your talks and that, it is so inspiring, man. Because there's a lot of history, there's a lot of experience. And there's points of views that I never thought of that, someone else would think of. So now, when I was talking back about Digitech, and I think Joe, you mentioned something about Digitech. If you don't type it in, I'll watch the rerun, and I'll find the chat. But I want to tell you guys something about what's going on here. Now I'm gonna put this guitar in the stand. I'm gonna show you something here. Joe. So I tossed this and it popped out, right? So I got some putty, so I'm letting this dry. Maybe I won't do it too much. But nothing happened to the guitar. I picked it up and it was in tune. We're back, my friends, reconnecting. It might drop out a little here and there. So I gotta show you this because this was real interesting. Last week I was talking about Digitech, and I want to show you guys something here. So I use these loop pedals, okay? And let's see, Man Coombs, great new video. Oh yeah, no, you know what? I really believe in helping, supporting everybody, man. Give everyone thumbs up, sub to everybody's channels, my friends. Yeah, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you have to look for the dings in the back. I mean, that's how these things are built like a tank, man. Um, so yeah, there's gonna be some. Mitch Heyman, how are you, my friend? How are you? Did any of you guys see Showman Blues walk by? He walked by on my Thursday gig and he waved. That was Showman Blues, and great guy, man. I was so cool meeting him. I wish I would have got there earlier, but it was raining, man, like hell. I was like, holy crap! Me and my vocalists were going down Interstate 75, and we couldn't hardly see in front of us, And people down here in Florida, sometimes they drive real quick. I don't want to say anything bad about my new state because I love it down here. Anyways, so Digitech's got some situations going on, and I don't want to. Yeah, you have the jam as a soloist, okay? Yeah, Bruce, these are great. I'm gonna show you what's real nice with these. I don't know what's happening with Digitech. I hope they're able to regroup, or maybe it's just something that happened, a glitch, as far as financially or information. Let's hope they don't disappear. But in case they do, we have 4 of these. So because this right now is my band. Yeah, it was cool, man. I got to see Showman Blues in person. See, to me, all you guys have replaced the celebrities and the stars, man. And I think it's because coming from working class, you're real people. And I'm not saying they're not real people, because I met Michael Anthony when Deb and we met him down in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And we were talking for a while. He's a great guy, man. You'd be surprised how many of these celebrities are just down to earth. But I've actually met more sports celebrities and celebrities that work for NATO when I did the show over at NATO. That was, if I could put those videos up, I'll do it, man. But I know I can't. There's no video of me actually in NATO because they will not. You cannot take pictures. But I ate in their cafeteria, man, and it was the most surreal experience I've ever had in my life. Because as I'm playing at the club, I'm watching, you got these 4- and 5-star generals and all these people sitting in front of me. I see them on TV on the news, man. And they're not just celebrities. These are important people. I'm like, holy crap, But when we did the gig for Kentucky Derby, I got my picture taken with Kate Upton, swimsuit model of the year. And of course, Deb took the picture. And what's the guy's name? DeFonte Jones or something like that. He had a show on the Travel Channel. Got a picture with him. Got a picture of all these celebrities. I don't really follow sports, but it was so weird because some of these people, they play guitar. They mess around, And they're asking me, where did I learn to play? So it's like Kate Upton, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, ma'am. My friends thought it was Photoshop. This is no, it was not Photoshop. And she's a really, really smart girl, man. Connecting, yeah. Pro gamer, hey, how's it going, my friend? Awesome. Welcome aboard. Oh, okay. I cannot that, but there's Meg. You're from magazine. From awesome. I don't want to go on too many tangents, because it's really easy for me to do. But the gaming and music, dude, I had friends of mine tell me, Dave, why don't you perform at GitCom, or not GitCom, Comic-Con, and some of these gamers. Because when I used to do the Renaissance Fair, I'd be all dressed up. And actually, I'm sorry guys, let me grab this real quick. This picture was when we were doing our guitar. That's why it says Guitar Heroes with an S, not Hero, S. So I still got my clothes and that. That was taken up in Illinois. And we were doing this for, it was like a tribute to all the Guitar Heroes, So when I say they're like, Tone King, give you one of those bad boys, they give you one of these bad boys, But yeah, I have people tell me, do stuff for the gaming industry as well. That would be really cool. Anyway, so let me tell you something what's going on with these. So we got 4 of these. Now, I think this might be version 2. The version 3 is the other ones I have. Okay, now, I'm going to do this. You might hear a pop. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Let me just turn this volume down because I got to show you this. Because if you buy these, you got to be aware of something. Okay? The newest ones come with this adapter. I don't know if you can see this. This type of adapter. The generation just before version 3 and the RP500 series and the RP1000 series. I know I've got the RP500. Has this type of adapter. Okay? There's something you need to know. This is just before version 3. This is a darker blue. If I could do this, guys. I want to show you this because it's easier if you actually see this. Okay, so I feel like show and tell, you know what I mean? Could you see this is a little bit lighter bluer than this? I guess this is version 3, but look how close they are. As far as the layout. It's the same layout. Now, I want to show you something. If you buy this, and we got this used, and the other ones we got from Sweetwater and Amazon, so again, we got our backup system. 4 of these. So if Digitech goes under and the bands that get really hard, to put together, this always got this. I do everything hands-free with the foot switch. Plus you could do the SD card. So, I gotta show this to you. Version 2. If you use this adapter, watch what happens. Sorry guys, this is my adapter, right? Watch this. It will not go in. It's like the outer casing here is too big for here. It won't go in. Now, that's why this has to use this. This goes right in. Look at that. Now, let's see if this goes in the newer one. It's going to be important to understand that, guys. This one also goes in here. This will also go in version 3. So when you buy anything used, make sure, and I have the one spot, or the iSpot, whatever the hell it's called, it won't fit the other one. Make sure, whatever adapter you're going to use, don't just say, okay, I got it, grab it and run. Now this came with the adapter, so I have no issues. I just didn't bring this adapter at one of my shows, and I put some songs in my version 3 or version 2, whatever the hell it is. So I'm prepared now. But it's going to be important because if you don't, and you're at your show, and you got no backup, guess what? You better learn how to tell jokes real quick. Wash dishes, mop the floor, do something, right? Because see, this is what I mean. This is how life really is. That's why I used to be ashamed to say, oh my God, I made a mistake. Oh, and I'm not using this as an excuse to be a hack or anything. But at some point, I come to realize, especially when I was teaching back up in Illinois, that you know how sometimes you can inspire a person by you making the mistakes and they seeing that, and then they don't feel like there's something wrong with themselves. You know what I mean? Then they feel like, oh, I can't do this, I'll never be like this guy. Well, you're not going to be like even the people that you look up to, but you'll be just as good as they are. And I think people need that little extra inspiration so they can get out there and do it and don't worry about making mistakes. I make mistakes, If I use myself as the punching bag, then then a person won't feel bad if they make a mistake. Sorry, guys, if you see the top of my head or anything. Yeah, come on, let's go. Try to get this in. Then, they don't feel bad. Because there's nothing worse than, there really is nothing worse than feeling like you're not good enough. I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And you see, that's what happens to a lot of people. They actually stop themselves from progress, and then they look back years later. And the reason why I say this, I used to play at senior centers. And, sorry guys, I'm going to turn this volume up a little bit, because I am good at jamming a little bit as opposed to just blabbing. Anyways, I used to do these senior centers, and, sometimes these people be looking out. I mean, they're listening to me play. But they used to look out the window, and it's like they're reflecting on their life, and, some of it like, will they be forgiven? Will this, that? But some of them, it makes you wonder if they're having any regrets. I wonder what would happen if I tried it, even if I failed. At least I could say I tried it. I don't know. To me, it's nothing worse than living your whole life wondering what would have been. You know what I mean? If that makes sense to you guys. It's something that, and not everything's for everybody. So I really think that people don't be so afraid about making mistakes, man. Don't let that hold you back, because you are going to get older, and there is going to be a time you're going to be by yourself, and you're going to be reflecting on your life. And I wonder if I would have done this. I wonder if I would have done that. When I started doing these solo gigs, I started as doing it with like guitar clinics, and then doing actually my own backing tracks to my own songs, which I'll be popping them back out again and writing new songs, that's what's so cool about what's going on with YouTube. Anyways, and then people like it, and then I had some people say, "Oh, that's cheating," and of course I would say, "No, cheating is when you're married and you got something, on the side. That's cheating. This is being resourceful." So, and I started using this stuff, and I started getting good at using the looping and doing the backing tracks. The idea I had with the backing tracks really came, guys, once again. So what would happen? Sorry, guys, I'm trying to. Yeah, regrets. Yeah, you don't want to have regrets in life, Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read some. Yeah, they are. Absolute mayhem. Yep. Anchors of life. They certainly are, my friend. There's nothing worse than when you see people feeling bad that they didn't give, they didn't give a shot because they're afraid that they're gonna get made fun of. I'll never make fun of. When I was younger, you're young and stupid, Oh, Ben Coombs, what phone are you using? I have a LG phone, Android phone. Now, is there any, like, what would you suggest that when you have all these dropouts? Because I don't know if it's the phone or it could be, because down here we get a lot of interference with the rain. Is selling my 1974 Les Paul Fretless Wonder. Oh, yeah, you had a nice one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you had a good one there, man. Well, like I had we all regret getting rid of something, right? Yeah. Okay, now when I was talking about likely can't add mods, then by click add a couple. Oh, I see, Ben. Aha. Old Man Blues. I mean, no, yeah. Sorry, Old Man Dan. I'm sorry. You also had a 1976 Ibanez Carina V. Okay. This is real This is real interesting, guys. If you get a chance, you need to add some modulators. Okay, Joe. Yeah, if there's something going on, thanks for the advice, guys, because you guys are like light years ahead of me with all this technology, and I do appreciate it, man. Really do appreciate it. Because I don't want it to look all funny, like, I just fell off, came out of the womb or something, Interesting that Old Man Dan says about the 1976 Ibanez Carina V and the Ibanez guitars, basically in general. Stream coming in reverse is driving me crazy. Yeah, it's in reverse. See, on my screen, oh, maybe it is. No, to me it looks like it's, yeah, this is my left hand. But see, I know it is crazy. I don't know what's going on. I think I've seen a video where a guy was saying that there's so much information being put up on YouTube from so many different sectors and different topics that they're really scrambling trying to get all this going. And I think it's maybe it's like they're understaffed in the tech side of everything. To hand out wrenches, yeah. You know what? To keep the trolls, yeah. Yep, I'm gonna talk with Deb about that. Look into that, hand out the wrenches, because I know you guys had mentioned about wrenches, and yeah, it helps keep the trolls. Because I know there's people out there trolling, and I really feel bad for them. I really hope that their life could just boom miraculously get better for them, and they don't have to worry about being like that. And I really believe everyone has a chance to redeem themselves. Because I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to see anyone go bad and go sour, man. Everyone's people. We're all human. We all have emotions, right? Things happen in life, and you just try to do the best of it, make the best of life that you can. So it's tough. But and see, I would hate to see this whole platform just disappear, because this is so kick-ass. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna reread that. See, sorry about that, Ben. What's going on with this? Yeah, see. I go to touch the screen, and it just goes like this, like touch water, it ripples. Aha! You should be able to click on a name and okay. Tap on someone's icon and see if it gives you the option to make them. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea, Joe. Oh, barbecue. I hear you, man. Hey, no problem, my friend. Rock on. Yo, peace. You got it, absolute man. It's barbecue season, right? But what I was gonna say is that, okay, now we're gonna be doing with the Adam EVH, Jim Geetrid, Joe Wentz, and myself, in and out when I can, gigs and gear, and we're just working on everyone's time schedule. That's really what's happening, because I get all these gigs, and Joe's driving a lot, and Joe, he needs to get rest. Ask any truck driver. Joey TWB, hey, what's happening? What's happening, buddy? But you ask any truck driver, man, you gotta get rest. You get pulled over by a state trooper, man, and they start doing sleep apnea tests, because they would do that at the bus company back in Illinois. One of our friends, that happened to him, and they'll do drug tests, they'll do sleep apnea tests, make sure that you're fit to drive, that you're healthy, you're not going to give yourself a heart attack. When George Ryan was governor of Illinois, I think this kind of started a lot of crap with the CDL license. A truck driver slammed into a minivan and killed the whole family, or something to that effect. It was just a tragedy, and that started the whole thing. Yep. We will be doing the oh yeah. That is so cool for you guys doing that, man. I'd like to be able to participate when I can. That would be cool. Share the gear. You're not using it, go ahead and share it, man. Yeah, that is just awesome. Totally awesome. But yeah, so we're gonna have that. But I had mentioned it to this, and I guess I could say this now. Whether I gotta just for starters do this as a live chat like I'm doing here until I get a laptop where I could just dedicate to the Hangouts, because that's what I need to do. Because our other laptops, we got other things on there, and we want to make sure that's for our businesses, and that my wife is very protective with the business, with our business that we have. You gotta be. You really have to be. You got it, Ben. Okay, hey, Ben, are you gonna have Stephen Boston this Sunday on? If not, I'll check it out anyway, man. I'll check it out anyway. I thought you had mentioned that. But I had mentioned about doing like a chat calling Rock and Ibanez, and just talking about Ibanez guitars and a little bit of their history. And I love my BC Rich Warlock. I love my Les Paul. My Les Pauls I have, But see, Ibanez was, oh, that's good. Yeah, tomorrow night. You got it, brother. Ben, take care, man, and Again, the doors of opportunity, hold them open, man. I love that catchphrase. That's huge. That is so much inspiring. Man, just that phrase alone, I'm a fan. And I say that with respect because I really do mean that. I love that saying. Of course, I just when I said desire to inspire, it just came out just by accident. So I guess I use it as a catchphrase, right? Oh, sorry, I almost fell through. Oh, you might go. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. We'll definitely gonna be in Fort Myers, Rusty's in Fort Myers. It's definitely gonna be a different scene. And when I do some of my playing, I'm gonna be whipping out some originals. And I'm actually Broken Chains. He's got a song. I'll be able to do it. I got it in my loop pedal. I'm gonna spotlight it tonight. And I think I'm gonna do another one that Jim Guitry did. See if I get that out there. So I apologize I didn't get that out there sooner, but it will be coming out there. Um, but yeah, so I talked about, I think it was maybe with Mitch Heyman. Yeah, it'd be great to do a chat with you, Mitch, because you would spotlight your Ibanez. And the reason why I chose Ibanez guitars because there's a unique history with them. Not only was it my first good guitar, but when you mentioned about the 1976 Ibanez Carina wood, and then I remember just before that they had all their copy guitars, and then all of a sudden they did a quick 180, and then they started just releasing all of their own designs, and from that point on, they took off, man. Um, they make great guitars, and even if people don't like them, you're more than welcome to share what you don't like about them. I'm not endorsed by anybody. And there's something magical about that. I don't have to feel like I'm anchored down, to a certain product. I would never turn someone down if they wanted to, and I would never be like, give me free gear. No, I really believe in helping supporting a company because they got overhead and families to mouths to feed too, employees and all that. We had employees when we had our construction company, so that's why I understand. What the name of the game is there. But again, when I said pertaining to Ibanez guitars is that all right, these they're built like a tank, but if I were to take even the Steve Vai model, and I'm not trying to pick on Steve Vai or Joe Satriani, I love those guys, I think they're great. I'm just saying the line of guitar. And if I were to hold it to up against my old 1978 and 79 Ibanez Artists, my Ibanez Artists would blow them away, man, as far as the build quality. And I'm not saying that they're not doing build quality. Back then no one thought that woods would be disappearing. Now there's an issue with rosewood. And now we got what's called the roasted maple necks and that. See, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read something here. There's something interesting, yeah. 1986 and 87, I had to go from Maryland to, oh no. Oh, you had to drive, yeah. Dude, we know about the driving. You wear yourself out. Like the new Ibanez, yeah, Genesis, yeah. Mike Gray, what's happening, man? What I was to say is that no one thought that the woods would be rare. So, of course, you had this Primo Woods, and I only paid $350 for that guitar. And, man, it was just with the Super 88 pickups. It was a pickup they had the finger with the butterfly wings, half bone, half brass nut, sustain block underneath the bridge. My friend Andy had the 1979 Ibanez Paul Stanley model. He paid $5. Okay, we dropped out again. Old Man Dan. I did something similar with my $2,000 2016 Les Paul Traditional and a $12,000 R9. Ooh, dude. You're talking some serious bucks there, When it goes into the 5 digits, it's bad enough in the 4 digits, expensive guitars. I'm reading Bruce is a huge fan around the States and oh yeah. Yep. When you drive now here's the thing. Now I'm not saying I'm an expert, but what I do know is when we do our road shows. So I could talk from the experience of this. So you're driving, right? This is why my wife drives. And when I had people who don't play music, they kind of don't understand this. Say, what, Dave, are you lazy? Don't you know how to drive? Blah, blah. You don't understand. When I go to those gigs, I cannot play while I'm looking like I'm tired, especially if it's a wedding gig or it's something in the classical realm. I have to maintain, I have my hair pulled back in a ponytail. I have sometimes a tuxedo on or something. We're live again. So when you drive, and that's why my wife will drive, so that when I'm doing my show, I could look and be I could be focused. Now, if you're, let's say, you do HVAC, and I'm not saying, because I used to do HVAC, I'm not saying that you go on a job site dead tired and you kill yourself or you get electrocuted or you blow a house up. No. But if you're going to do, let's say, ductwork, and you're pounding the ductwork in the basement, you could be a little bit tired. You could kind of show that I'm a little bit tired. You can yawn and have your thermos. But you can't do that in a live show. Yawning in a thermos and blowing your schnoz and farting and belching and that. These people, when they see you, it's like, it's almost like you're a model or something. So it does make a difference. So I'd have friends of mine that don't play music and they don't understand why I have to have rest and it's be as spot on as possible. I'm not always spot on. Of course I make mistakes. I drop the guitar. Sometimes it goes off tune. Sometimes I have a brain fart and I just forget. Or it's hot and there's so much gook on the strings because of the sweat. But you get through it. But you don't want, that's what I said, you don't want to draw attention. Yeah, thanks, man. I don't mind showing all these type of gigs either, when I say some things, it's not to deter people from chasing labels. You do what you want and you go for it, man. But while you're waiting for that phone call, don't turn work away, man. There's nothing worse than you see someone at, like on the Griswolds, Clark, all those shows, Uncle Eddie's waiting for the 7 years, he's waiting for the management position. He's not going to work because he's waiting for a management position. Don't be like that, man. You'll be waiting a long time for that phone call to come, my friend. So yeah, I'm going to do a special show on Ibanez Guitars. Vacation, that's it, Mitch, that's it. I love those movies, they're funny. Yeah, so I will do some on Ibanez Guitars, and if anyone's got history behind Ibanez, I had thought I heard something about Ibanez started out as a company selling sheet music, and then, they just all got together. Cousin Eddie, that's him, Mitch. How about it? Is that like every girl's dream man, huh? Cousin Eddie, he's out of work for 7 years because he's holding off for that really big job. And meanwhile, everything's passing, life is passing him by, man. Randy Quaid, that's him. Dude, that guy was perfect in that, man. Okay, so before I wrap this up, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in, man. You guys, to me, are great, yeah. And his dog, Snots, yeah, that's right. Holy crap, man. Those movies are awesome. When I'm doing all this, my live shows, again, what I mentioned about the Digitech is that you got the built-in drums. Now, Robert Baker did something, and he's the only other person I see do this with the Line 6, the smaller version of the Helix. And actually, in any of those products, he did a little bit of demonstration with the bass octave in it. And I could hear the bottom end, and I thought, cool. I'm glad he's did that, because that kind of shows what that pedal could do. Because on this thing, when I'm doing my bass lines, it's coming from this. When I don't have my Roland pickup. On my Roland, it's much different. But with this, you kind of get... Now, it's coming through the small speakers, but the larger the speaker, you could actually feel the bottom end. I mean, it's incredible. So, and then with the built-in drums this thing has, so you could really, if you're in a situation, if you had to do some improvising, boom, it's all right here. In conjunction with the looper pedal. And I also have the Digitech drop. drop down a fifth. I saw a guy do a demo on the Digitech drop pedal, and he said you got to have at least some nice tension on your strings, because if you have it too wobbly, the more you drop the tuning, the more you hear the wobbles. That's just natural, normal. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning into our live streams. We really appreciate that. And when someone else has something live, and because we all do the channel search for you, and I do that too, go ahead and just check other people's channels out, and give the shout outs to everybody, because it really does help. It does help the community, man. So my friends, we will see you tonight. We're playing from 6 to 9. We will be doing live streaming. My wife Deb, she'll be manning the camera and all that. But yeah, until tonight, until next Saturday, I will be doing some videos during the week. I got a guy that I'm gonna work on the Phrygian scale. I'm gonna show him a quick what he could do with some of the Phrygian scales and that. But till next time, my friends, you guys stay safe. Hold the doors of opportunity for those people. Help them in. It's important. Good things will come your way. Always desire to inspire. Until later on tonight, you guys take care. You guys are totally rocking, man. We love you all, man. God bless. You take care. Have a good day, man. See ya.